Hallo und herzlich willkommen zu Love, Life and Other Stories, dein Podcast für mehr Inspiration und Lebensmut. Ich bin Katrin Andrea Preisner, systemischer Coach und Gründerin von Heart and Mind Journey. In meinem Podcast spreche ich mit Menschen, die ihrem Herzen gefolgt sind, Träume verwirklicht und Hindernisse überwunden haben. Manchmal gegen den Strom, aber immer mit Mut und Herz. Schön, dass du dabei bist. Lass uns jetzt gemeinsam eintauchen in die Geschichten, die das Leben schreibt. Today, my guest is Manuela Sauter, a very inspiring woman whose story really shows what it means to truly follow your inner calling. The first time I met Manuela in Dharamshala in India, where she was teaching meditation at the Tushita Dharma-Centrum, and I was quite impressed by her life path. And in our conversation, Manuela shares how she really transformed how the transformation was from being a successful wedding planner, almost engaged, building a house with her then partner, to let go all of it, and especially after a profound experience during a typhoon in the Philippines that really changed her life forever. And we talk about how Buddhism transformed her life, how she recognized that its teachings had been with her actually since her childhood, and why true wisdom comes from experience and not just study. And she also opens up after witnessing her beloved grandfather's passing and how that deepened her understanding of impermanence and transformation. Alongside the Dharma, Manuela's other great passion is Yin Yoga. Today she leads Yin Yoga teacher trainings around the world and shows how this gentle practice can really support not only our physical body but also our emotional and energetic well-being. So you can really looking forward for an inspiring conversation about courage, trust, and taking the first step, even when the destination is still unknown. Hello and a warm welcome to a new episode of Love, Life and Other Stories. Today I have a very special guest, Manuela Sauter. Manuela and me, we met the first time in Dharamshala, actually in Tushita. She was there, one of the meditation teachers, and at the same time she was also teaching every Sunday a very beautiful Yin Yoga class with sound healing. There where I met her, and then luckily our paths crossed a few more times, either in India or even in Germany. So yeah, and I had the chance to follow her journey and also to meet her more. And she has, a very inspiring path of life. And yeah, that's why I'm very, very happy that you're here today, Manuela, that you can share this with all the listeners of the podcast. A warm welcome to you.
Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so happy to share my story with you, to inspire more people to travel the world.
Yeah, I do also so many inspiring things as you do know, so with Dharma and everything. So wow. Yeah, maybe I know you, but maybe you can give us a short introduction yourself, who you are, where you're right now, and yeah, maybe also a fun fact about you, which is not so nobody knows about you.
Nobody knows about me. Okay, let's first stay with this. So so I'm originally born in Germany, and around almost 5 years back I left Germany on the quest of finding some meaning in life, and after South America, and I traveled in a lot of Asian countries, I ended up in India, which was the last 7 years my home, and the last 2 years now Bali is on my list. And I keep on, bringing my dreams into life. And, I had a very, I was actually working as a wedding planner previously. I had a very German style life, relationship, building a house, almost got engaged twice. But something in me was always calling, quest, go out, find meaning in life. And yeah, that's how I ended up 7 years in India. And fun fact about me. Oh, it's always difficult, but I tell you a cute story about me. When I was maybe 6 or 7 years old, I was with my parents in Egypt on a boat, and we was fishing. And even that, I always tell this to my Buddhist friends, especially. And every one of the boat were fishing or lunch. And I didn't like it so much because at one point I felt so much compassion for these little fishes that I took the whole bucket with all the fishes and put them back to the ocean. Because of that, my family was not so beloved anymore for all the other peoples on the boat. Because no lunch. So, but
No
yeah,
fish.
I think no fish, no lunch, but happy daughter.
This is all what it counts, no, I would say.
Yeah. So yeah. So this is just a short glimpse of my life. And I would say this is today when people ask me, because at one point I met Buddhism, but we will talk about later a bit more. But this was my introduction to Buddhism. I just could not bear to see this little fish suffering. So yeah, I hope this goes through as a little fun fact.
Yeah, very nice. Thank you so much. Yeah, as you already mentioned, no, in your introduction, you have a very fascinated transformation, I would say, no, from having like maybe a typical, more accepted life from society to, yeah, completely transformation, living now in different Asian countries, teaching yoga, not only in retreats, also you like supporting yoga teacher trainings as a yoga teacher, learning students new yoga styles and everything. So it's a huge transformation. So when you go back, was there like any point or any situation which changed, or was it like more like a longer process where you felt something is calling you that you have to live differently, or that you walk a different path than what you have done before?
I think my really big change. So I was already working. I was quite successful as a wedding planner. I also loved my job, my place. I had a dog, a wonderful boyfriend. And I was like, sometimes I bought myself a Louis Vuitton bag. No, I was not super rich, but I also didn't have to care a lot of things. And I enjoyed my life. But my friendship was already, I got to understand that people have so much, but still they are searching for something. They were not fully satisfied and fully, like, whatever they bought didn't brought them what they thought it will bring them. Even myself, I got a new car. It was interesting for a few weeks, maybe a few months, but then it gets normal, right? So, and I think when I started my first journey, actually, I got to meet people who did not have a lot of money, but somehow they were smiling at me and they really enjoyed life, and they taught me in moments or in minutes things which I couldn't imagine somehow. And even myself, I had like a life-threatening story on a monsoon, or not, in a typhoon in Philippines, where the water was increasingly going up and none of us was really sure if we're gonna survive. And I had like literally my last joint, and I'm like, okay, let's smoke, huh? Let's die if this is the end. Let's be calm, let's be chill. And luckily, the weather changed and the storm became less and the water went back. But in that night, it was really like, for me, the question, what do you live about? Like, just to start gain material things, but then for what? Can I take them? Do they bring me lasting happiness? And also all the pressure you have in our society, right? They want you to look like this. They want you to be like this, to behave like that. So I had a lot of questions. And in that night, I really make thanks now to that situation, this decision, that I really had to change things, and I did it. This means after that experience, I told my boss that, okay, I'm coming back a little bit later. So I stayed a few more weeks away on the Philippines and I traveled more. When I came back, I told my boss, okay, I'm going to end this, like, I'm going to work for the rest of this year, which was another 8 or 9 months, but then I'm going to be away. And it was so good because I knew if I'm going to work and not telling that, then I will lose like this courage to really quit my job. Yeah. So this is how I ended up quitting my job first. And obviously everyone was shocked. My family was shocked. My friend, like, why do you quit? Because I had a very good paid job. I just like went one step more up in the ladder. I had a wonderful partner and everyone was like, why? Like, why do you do this? And I'm like, I don't know. It's the right thing to do. I just knew it. And from that journey, which I thought is going to be like 1 year, many years followed.
I think this is very beautiful now. And I think, wow, I think this is very brave also now, even if you get so much critics or people are questioning, no, what helped you that you really stick with your plan? You said already, because you're told, but also to continue this, because it's not, I know it from myself, no, from the society where we grew up, from the environment, there's always question, what kind of lifestyle do you have staying abroad for so long? What are you doing? So what helped you really sticking on this, to really following what your inner voice is telling you?
I mean, because I decided in the beginning, I went to Asia. And I very quickly realized actually that like even giving up my job, my apartment, my car, like some material possessions, putting everything in the storage, even there, you know, with our beautiful passport, we can just come back to Germany and we can start new. There's actually not much to lose, right? See it from that perspective, because that what I think is so much to lose, other people would fight for it. If you live in Asia, where people just can think about the next day what they're gonna have on food, right? So, and this I really quickly realized, and I think this was giving me constant motivation. And yes, I also started to meditate. I started to do yoga. I'm coming from a Christian background, but I was never, or like, at least as a teenager, I was not strongly I was serving in the church when I was younger, I think from 6 to 12, how you say it, is till communion or something like that.
Yeah, like I know what you mean, but I don't know the English
Yeah, the English word, so
translation.
sorry.
Yeah. No.
But anyway, but then
Yeah.
over my teenage time, my 20s, I forgot this, right? And I was not much related with Jesus, with Christ, with church at all. And then coming to Asia, where in every country in Asia, you will feel some kind of spirituality, if it's Buddhism, Hinduism, Jainism. And I was like somehow driven to learn about it, seeing how much people offer time and space for it and how much satisfied they feel. I mean, literally, I think when I first went to Bodh Gaya, where is one of the poorest state in India. And it's literally, there is streets where people really, you see the suffering directly in your face, like people with only one leg, one arm, and like not 5 of them, 50 of them, right? But still, they smile, they're happy, somehow they accept their karma. Yes, obviously they're begging, they want something, but like somehow they are alive, you know? And they cannot think about where is the next house to build, but they have their practices. Yeah, it was really inspiring for me, somehow going into all these places and experiencing that. Finally, for me, I have to say, I got some realizations quite early on my journey that it doesn't matter if you have $5, 500 or 5,000 per month. What changes is maybe the food you eat, the relationship you have, the environment you are, but you can survive with all of it.
And then how it continued your path? Like when you quit your job, now you went through many countries and then, yeah, you ended up in India. So what was then bringing you there or keeping you there? Also, you said already know the spirituality, but what was it then?
Yeah. So, yeah, I was like almost 2 years in South America, and then I got like this inner call. I started doing really dedicated yoga every day and did several vipassanas and start to serve also in vipassana retreats. Someone who don't know it is 10-day silent retreats, and they are very, very powerful. They have retreat centers all over the world. So it became also in my travels in South America a big part. I explored also some, very potent plant medicines, which showed me where I can reach if I somehow maintain my daily practice in meditation, right? I never used them as a like daily base or something like that, but a journey with ayahuasca, with changa, they were very informative for me because it showed me like that somehow we are all super connected. Like this I miss very much in our Western world. We feel so disconnected because even everyone sleeps in their own room. We don't share meals anymore. We don't share anything. Everyone have their own laundry. Everyone has everything their own. Right? So in South America, I already got inspired that people live more together and they're sharing more. Plus also the South American tribes and generally, I would say people live very much in with nature. And then obviously starting my practicing in Vipassana and meditating more. So it was clear that one day India is calling me. And I went, and in my first year, I really did like a tour. Not a tourist tour. I went on pilgrimage. Like when I entered India, it was clear I'm not a tourist. I didn't even went to Taj Mahal in my first Indian visit. I wanted to visit ashrams from Rama Maharishi. I wanted to meet Amma. I wanted to see these people who inspire thousands of other people to live somehow, at least from my perspective, already a better life. And I did a Chardam. I hitchhiked in India. I walked, I did like the Chardam is like the pilgrimage to the four holy signs in North India. I mean, if I look today, I'm like, oh my God, I really did this. Yeah, but I was
Remember when you told me all this, I was impressed. I was thinking, wow, what you did. Yeah,
but
wow.
somehow I was always protected. I had also, and I met so many beautiful people. I was couch surfing and hitchhiking in India, and I had amazing experiences. Obviously, I also felt sometimes already as a teacher because, yes, as a foreigner women in India and couch surfing only do men. So I stayed with Indian men to tell them that not every woman is there to have a relationship that in my, like, honestly, in my Western society, men and women can be friends and it's completely okay. And we can still sleep in the same room or at least one room apart. I really felt that I can inspire this man.
Yeah, also to show, no?
Yes. And then on the other hand, I also wanted to really become a pilgrim and not a tourist in these places, right? Obviously, you can also do a lot of this science more as a tourist. I mean, all this temple, I mean, like diving into Hinduism that deep. I mean, I did like a parikana in Vrindavan, which is like the birthplace of Krishna. And yeah, it was just like thousands of people. I went to Kumbh Mela. I stayed for, I think 3 weeks. I was on the Kumbh
Maybe you
Mela.
have say what Kumbh Mela is. Maybe not many people
Yeah,
know.
so Kumbh Mela is the biggest pilgrim festival on earth. They say that the size of this festival is like London and Paris together. And I'm not joking. I don't know if it's true though, but what is definitely true, I easily walked in one day 20 kilometers on a festival. It's like so huge.
Wow.
Yes, you can get 100% lost, but you will see things you will not believe. Like I saw cows with 5 legs. I saw people flying. I saw men putting kilo of stones on their penis and lifting them up. I mean, it's known, this festival, that the sadhus, these are the spiritual, how do you say, the more evolved spiritual practitioners in India. They're coming out only every 4 years to participate in that festival to show their capacities. And yeah, it's a very inspiring festival. Also, many Indian spiritual teacher go there and giving talks and Dharma. And yeah, it's a huge festival with the whole idea that it's always on special days, on full moon and special star signs, not star signs, sorry, star constellations. And it's to be auspicious to dip on specific times in the water there because it's made for the conclusion, a conjunction of all the three rivers of Ganga, Saraswati, and Jamuna. And if you dip in the right time, you can actually purify the lineages, karmic, from yourself and 7 behind. Anyway, it's an amazing experience. Yeah, it was just also this year, but I could not go. But yeah, whenever you're in India, there's Kumbh Mela. Try it out. But yeah, millions of people.
Wow. Yeah, I know a friend was there. She said she had to recover for a month because it was so intense, everything, but beautiful also at the same time.
Yeah. And then India just kept my heart. So I couldn't I just knew that India is going to be the place where I'm going to continue study. And I also had a very powerful encounter, which maybe I'm going to share now so you can better follow my story up. So to that time, this was in 2019, I was already a yoga practitioner. I started already to teach a little bit. I was already volunteering, as I mentioned before, for Vipassana Center, which belongs to the Theravada Buddhism. And I always had somehow this idea when I go to India, I want to meet His Holiness the Dalai Lama. And I had no clue who he is. I know him because he is one of the 5 most wanted faces in the world. That's literally what it is. And so on my birthday week, and my visa in India was almost running out. So it was also like one of the last places on my list. So I traveled to Dharamshala, which is today, this is where His Holiness lives, most of the year. It's a Tibetan refuge, so they call it the Little Tibet. And so I attended, I will never forget the day when I arrived. It was raining, and I hate rain, honestly. And I was so wet, and we had to stand in line to register for the teaching because you can only attend this teaching when you have a teaching pass. So, and I had all my luggage and I was so wet. My luggage was so wet. But finally I got my teaching pass, and then somehow I got invited to stay with nuns, which I later figured out it was Kelsang Mangmo. So I stayed in the same house, like not she invited me, but her friend. But I really stayed next to her where Kelsang Mangmo, which is the first nun who ever received her PhD in Tibetan Buddhism. But that time I was a bloody Tibetan. I had no idea about Tibetan Buddhism at all, honestly. So, but honestly, then I attended the teaching, and on that day, His Holiness took somehow another door, and I was luckily in that way. So he literally bumped into me somehow, and something in that moment in my life changed. I cannot describe it. Just also attending the teaching was very powerful, but then getting some physical encounter was unbelievable. And I knew in that moment somehow instantly that now I have to put my time into this type of Buddhism. So after that teaching, I attended a 10-day course in Tushita meditation center. This is where we met. Then this 10-day was really life-changing for me because even in Hinduism, they teach a lot about karma, but I always had question, where does karma come from? How can this be? Someone can create karma, or like someone is a creator. Because I still also had like maybe this preposition from Christianity, right? And so Buddhism really gave me in this 10 days answers which I needed to hear, and which gave me so much understanding of the world, causality, how things exist actually, how we perceive things. So many things became already, interesting for me. So after that 10-day course ended, which was end of October, people told me, hey, there is a 1-month course happening in Kopan Monastery, which is like the sister, which is the sister monastery from Tushita, which is actually the biggest, one of the biggest Dharma centers in the world for, I think, Western people to study Buddhism or Tibetan Buddhism further. So, and the course was led by Rubina, but I had no idea who is Rubina. And I had never heard about this course before, but some people recommend me to go there. Obviously, the course was already super full, and it was maybe 10 days before the course started. I sent an email and said, hey, if you have someone who is not coming, let me know. I anyway have to do a visa run. I have to go to Nepal, and I would love to attend your course. So what finally happened, literally, and I'm not joking, there you can see if the karma is there to meet, you will, is literally on the day I bought my bus ticket to Kathmandu. I got a message that I'm accepted to the November course. This is how I ended up in a 1 month intense Buddhist course with very famous Buddhist nun, Rubina Kirtin. I also right now in Bali, I just finished a 1 week retreat with her. And she is a nun, I think, since 76 or 78. And she is like, she really teaches the Dharma straight in your face, not with any nice blossoming around. I think she can become very famous with her movie Chasing the Buddha. She is doing prison project where she actually supports prisoner on death row teaching Dharma there, providing them tools to not get more crazy, let's say like this. Support them on a very important path for them somehow, right? Because in society, people on death row do not have any opportunities for acceptance, tolerance. So in that 1 month course was very powerful. Obviously, Robina is also a teacher. She screams at you, she yells at you, but obviously all comes from a good heart. In that 1 month course, I got even more answers and I got more inspired that this is the way I'm going to choose in my life. And after that course, I ended up staying a little bit longer in Kathmandu and did another... and then I went to Lumbini, which is the birthplace of Buddha, and I did another 10 or 12 day course there. So I was really into meditation. I was really into Buddhist philosophy. I even had, if you ask people today who know me from that course, they say, oh, you're still not ordained? Because in that course, I said, oh, I'm going to ordain. I become a nun. I'm still convinced that this is the right path, but maybe I don't have to become a nun though, for now, because I still love to dance. And I love to teach yoga and sound healing. So after this course, my grandfather, I got a call from my family in Germany calling me back if I would be able to replace my grandmother for a few weeks and take care of my grandfather, as my grandmother has to go for operation and my grandfather needed a full-time care as he had Alzheimer and wanted to stay at home. So I said, okay, because this is what I just learned in the teachings. We have to pay back our kindness to your parents, your grandparents. Somehow they gave you that body. They took care of you. So I went back, and what then finally happened is that the teachings I received, because in that course you also learn a lot about death and death process. And also Lama Zopa Rinpoche, who was teaching sometimes Robina. For both of them, it's a big topic. What then actually happened that my grandfather passed away in 10 days. And I could really see all these processes, like whatever I literally theoretically experienced by hearing, I got it in front of me. And this was very powerful. And after that COVID happened, I started to really have intense daily online practices with Buddhist groups all over the world. And obviously also implemented yoga. During COVID, I was 6 months in my parents' house. I helped them with their farm. And then I started to create my own retreat modus with online modus. And it was a very beautiful time. The moment India opened, I went back to India and ended up in more retreats in another November course. And from this November course, I ended up being the meditation leader in Tushita. This is how things folded out. Yeah. Sorry, long story, but just to make you all a little bit, give you all a little bit of overview how these things literally never was planned anything. This all came and happened to me somehow.
Yeah. So crazy to see also know when you once start the journey, because sometimes we think where to start and where to go or what to do. But actually what I just popped up in my head when I listened to the story again, because I didn't know it in all the details, but when you really take the first step and trust and followed your inner voice, know your gut, that everything unfolds. Know what you said, like starting from meeting the Dalai Lama in person, I got goosebumps when you were telling me this. I heard this also now the first time, this encounter and how everything falls in place, also that you let go of everything and then it came. So this is so beautiful also, that what you said, like what you learned in theory, that it really comes then also that you experience this, what you have learned. So very beautiful.
Yeah. And never forget to follow your heart and follow your dreams. I think that's also so important because yes, my story is beautiful. But yes, it was not always easy because I'm a woman. People ask you don't want to get married. Where's your security? Where's your partner? Where's your boyfriend? I mean, I committed my life to spirituality and my daily practices. Even in my journey before I was in Rishikesh, I went to 6-7 yoga classes per day and kirtans and all like this. And I think, don't be fearful. This will just hold you back. If you follow others, everything will unfold, and whatever step you take is in your direction, however your direction will look. Yes, it's beautiful if you have a destination where you want to go, but I guess most of all don't really have that. But if you never take a step, then you will also never reach towards any kind of destination, right? So I think this is very, very important, especially in a society which teaches us that security is everything. I mean, honestly, we don't know. For what do we need so much security? We don't know what is going to happen with the world situation. And I mean, if you listen to Buddhist teaching, there's only two things which we know, and this is like, which we know, it's like we're going to die and we don't know when. And everything else is your creation. This gives so much space. So why are we holding back to live our dreams, to go a step out of our comfort zone? Because how often we also have experience, we try something new and wow, I like it. Oh, this new restaurant or this new dress or this new haircut or whatsoever. It can be little things, but most of us, I guess, if we try something new, after that, we like it. Because if we would never tried it, we would not know that this is my favorite restaurant. So simple it is.
Yeah. And something is also worth to try something new, no? Because otherwise, of course, we know what we get when we go always to the same restaurants. But when we never tried a new restaurant around the corner, we don't know, no? There is never a wrong decision or wrong experience. It just brings us more forward, Wow, very beautiful.
Yeah.
Buddhism and the teachings is not the only thing what you're doing, what we already scratched. You do much more. You're also like part of a team which is like doing a yoga teacher training in Goa and in Bali. Maybe you can give us some insights what you're doing there and also what you think, why is it so helpful also for us, for our daily life, for our spiritual development, and also, for our inner world.
Yeah, I was already myself yoga practitioner, and then I got to know Yin Yoga, which is a slow-paced form of yoga, which works mainly with the Taoist philosophy of the meridians overview, which also we know, or most of you will maybe know from acupuncture. So, and I get to actually to know that it's very supportive for meditation because I think now in total 10 Vipassana or 10 days or something like that. And obviously you're not allowed to do their official yoga. So I'm trying to find some sneaking in yoga. So if you are like 4 or 5 minutes in a position, they cannot really say it's yoga, right? So this is how I figured out about Yin Yoga, and I got interested. And then I did my first Yin Yoga training, and the teacher and me there, she's also German, but lived in Goa already since 20 years. And so we got to know each other very well. And already in the next retreat, I was assisting her. And then the next year, I was hosting my own trainings for Yin Yoga therapy. And this is happening now in Goa, in India, in Thailand, in Sri Lanka, Yeah, I think that's it. And yeah, it's amazing because yin yoga is nowadays very common, very modern, but it's actually, if you look a little bit further back in the history, there's one sentence in the Hatha Pratipika which says yoga is meant to sit long and steady in a posture, which is the meditation posture, right? I mean, why yoga was never meant, I mean, it's nice if you lose weight and you activate your cardiovascular system, but finally, the purpose of yoga, even if we assume that Shiva was given the yogic knowledge, is to enable you to sit long time in meditation to finally reach liberation, right? Enlightenment, however, samadhi, however you call it, different tradition, different meanings. But this is what is yoga meant for. And if you look in the yin yoga posture, this is what yin yoga trains much more. Because yin yoga, we do every posture between 3 and 5 minutes, which means every posture is a little meditation already. We work with a deep belly breathing to activate the parasympathetic nervous system. This also calms your brain waves. This is what we need for meditation. Then also, if you look in the first postures you will find in the Hatha Pratipika, most of them are floor postures. This means this is also this today yin yoga. We have obviously much more postures which are close to the earth, close to the floor. Then in yin yoga, we are training the joints, the bones, the tendons, the ligaments. And this is finally what is responsible for a healthy muscles. Right? Because the strength of the body is finally coming not from the muscles, it comes from healthy joints, bones, tendons, and ligaments. If they have problems, your muscle also will have problems. We know this. Modern science now is bringing so much scientific research about it, how important it is. And yin yoga is literally the only sport, if you call it like that, which really trains these deeper lying tissues. And this is why I got so interested in yin yoga and literally replaced my complete yoga technique into yin yoga. And this is also now the only, most like in the trainings, we really focusing on yin yoga. And I think this is also a beautiful form of yoga because you learn so much. Like imagine you are 3, 4, 5 minutes in one posture on your mat. It's not only the physical part is one part, but then you have the mental part, which is included. You have your breath, which is included, the energetical part. So you are really working in yin yoga on 3 levels, physical, energetically, and mentally. And this is what we today call therapy. I mean, what is therapy? We can discuss this topic. But therapy, like wrapping it together, I think if you look at it in the Duden or in any other book, we'll find a form which works on different levels, right? And this is why I decided to go the way of a yin yoga therapist, of a yin yoga teacher, to spread this really wonderful knowledge with the world. And this is, you enjoyed it, right? When you came to my class.
I loved it. No.
How was your experience? Maybe it's also good not for me only as a teacher to share your experience on it, to make people curious to try it out.
Actually, before I met you, I did a few yin yoga classes, and I was earlier more like I was running, hiking, doing all the more masculine sports. And I went to a few yin yoga classes in Munich. I remember when I was living there, but it was like always, this is so boring. We don't do anything. And then I went to your class, and then I was like, really, I loved it so much, because it felt for me, I felt so, even if I was, as you explained it right now, it's like calming down the nervous system so much. So in combination also with sound healing, it was so, profound for me when I was completely, I was traveling there, when we met, but still you have many things ongoing on your own development. And it was for me so special to really have the time, stay in one posture, reflect, check what kind of things are coming up. So I think it's especially for people who, I love now meditation, but earlier the days it was very hard to focus for me. So I think this is also a very good start, for meditative practice also, because you stay and also how you feel afterwards. This is always very good. And I think Yin Yoga also helped me to release things also. I mean, it's also, there are many emotions coming up now, which is shown in the body, like, because our emotions are stuck in the body. And I think Yin Yoga is a very, very beautiful practice. And this I also always experience either with you or like also I did a very, very short Yin Yoga training, but where I really, really realized, wow, how powerful this is also for emotional releases. And as you are doing it, no, this is a beautiful combination with sound healing, which even supports it more. So what you said, it's a therapy form, and I really, really believe it's a very powerful one in combination with meditation, that it really brings things up, because so many things are stored in the body. And yeah, that's amazing. Yeah. And of course, in yoga, it's everything about the teacher. No, when you like the teacher, how the teacher is conducting it, that makes the difference also. Then you can do the same yoga poses, but it's also, I would say, a lot about the teacher, so it makes the difference. Yeah, which was very nice.
Thank you. But it's also, I think, you will meet many yoga teachers who really love what they're doing. I mean, for me, it's like sharing yin yoga and sound healing. I mean, the sound healing is just, it came to my hands. Literally, I got the singing bowls from a friend, and then I discovered there was Tibetan mantra imprints. It's things sometimes just folding out in the way they should. And yes, the sound vibration now, then after I got singing bowls, I dived further in and come to understand how vibrational is also really healing, and how both of these techniques, yin yoga therapy or yin yoga and sound healing together, can really create wonderful spaces for people to heal, to rest, to reconnect. And I think this is such a powerful practice together, and the sound will help you to stay in the body, to not run away. And you learn also on the mat in your body with your sensations, with your feelings. It's okay. There is sadness. There's maybe a feeling of, oh, this is almost little pain. I want to go out. But when I turn my awareness away from it, I can come back again. I mean, this is impermanence, Buddhist teaching in physical form, right? Every meditation posture is every yin yoga posture is your little meditation time. And it's definitely, I mean, therapy, because you can even prove this. I mean, we're working here with energetical level, with acupressure parts of the different meridians. So your energy gets unblocked, right? But through that, sometimes you can experience emotional, strong sensations. But it's good because we notice that in all the world, healing is achieved by moving energy. Look in every tradition in the world. It's like that.
So beautiful. Yeah, wow. I think we can continue this forever. I think we have to do another episode, because I still have one question left, which I always ask all my guests. So when you look back now, you have now so many years of traveling, like having this life in Germany, but when you look back at your 18 years old version of the Manuela, you were there, and you want to leave a message or maybe more messages to her for her past, which is still in front of her. Now, what message would you give her from the perspective of now?
I think one thing I not regret, but if I could change something, is not spending 15 years in corporate and gaining material things to finally let it all go. I would rather go that. I mean, yes, it's good to have some good education. It's nice to study. It's good to have some financial background. But I mean, I spent literally years on computers working for other people, buying Louis Vuitton bags and expensive cars. I mean, I could already use this time to meditate, to do yoga, to benefit others, right? To volunteer in Dharma centers or wherever it's needed in schools, like doing something for the world instead of taking from the world. Yeah, this is what I would do differently. Putting already myself in a position in that perspective, because with 18, definitely I had this view like, what can I take? Give me. Right today, if I know everything there, I would say, what can I give? How can I help the people around me?
So beautiful. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your being. And as we already had, like in the pre-discussion, there are so many new projects ongoing with you and where you support. Now you're like doing so many beautiful things where you support others. And yeah, I will put everything in the show notes when people want to encounter you and also, meet you and everything. Wow. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much
for your inspiration. Me. Wow,
yes.
It was like
and
such
thank
a
you
pleasure
everyone
to have
outside
you.
to listen. Thank you after this beautiful podcast to me. Thank you, Katrin, for organizing this. I feel very honored and blessed. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I feel like, wow, I had so many times goosebumps and I feel it's so inspiring and so many wonderful things happen and I'm very curious there will much more happening on your path now. So I'm very excited and I'm very glad that I can observe it from a distance or from very near.
Yes,
so,
meet me. Come. Now you know my schedule for next year. You don't have exclusive.
Thank you so much, Manuela, for your being, for everything. Hallo und herzlich willkommen zurück aus der Folge. Ich hoffe, du hast für dich einige Inspirationen und Aha-Momente mitnehmen können. Und ja, Manuela und ich freuen uns natürlich total, wenn du uns einen Kommentar hinterlässt, entweder auf unserem Instagram-Kanal, auf Spotify, auf YouTube. Und damit du keine Folge mehr von Love, Life and Other Stories verpasst, abonniere am besten den Podcast auf YouTube oder Spotify. Somit unterstützt du auch den Podcast. Und ja, wenn du mehr Informationen über meine Arbeit als systemischer Coach oder über systemische Familienaufstellung erfahren möchtest, dann schau super gerne auf meiner Webseite www.katrinpreisner.com vorbei oder meinem Instagram-Kanal Heart in My Journey. Daneben gibt es seit 2 Wochen von mir einen Blog, den ich ins Leben gerufen habe, einfach um Sachen zu teilen, die mich inspirieren, Erlebnisse zu reflektieren und das zu teilen, was mich sonst so beschäftigt, und den findest du auch auf meiner Internetseite. Ansonsten wünsche ich dir jetzt erstmal einen ganz, ganz tollen Tag. Fühl dich von Herzen umarmt, deine Katrin.